is Chris Wagner from Ysa Learning Center here in Washington, D.C. I want to welcome you to the Community Partner webinar today. Today we're going to go over quite a few different pieces here, but rest assured the video will be recorded so you can go back and visit it later. We're going to start with just a brief overview of YSA.org and GYSD.org. We're going to talk a little bit about the Community Partner Program itself and take a quick look at the Toolkit that hopefully all of you have access to. We're then going to log into the Community Partner Learning Community, and we'll talk a little bit about the email password situation. And so just rest assured, if you're not able to get into the community yet, just send me an email and I'll get you in. We're going to then look at two partner programs, Grantstation and Global Giving, that I hope all of you take some time to look at and for sure take advantage of Grantstation. It's a free service for community partners. For an individual subscription, it's actually several $100s, and it's a great database for funding opportunities globally, so not just in the U.S. but globally, on a number of topics including youth development and organization development. And then they've also have some great resources, capacity building resources to help you develop a grant strategy and help you write that first grant, and give a lot of great best practices, ideas, and examples of strong grant applications. Then I want to look at the calendar and the lead up to GYSD from now through April, but really mid-May if you want to make sure we're doing our impact reports. So Global Youth Service Day is going to be April 21st through the 23rd this year, but we're going to ask everyone to turn in their impact report by mid-May. All right, so that's what we're going to cover today. A little bit of housekeeping here is my email is cwagner, C-W-A-G-N-E-R @ysa.org, just in case you don't have that. And I'm going to put this in the text box here so it gets to everybody. And again, we're going to record this. So after the webinar today, I will send everyone who's registered a YouTube link to the webinar and my email, and then any of the pieces we talk about today, such as attachments, resources, links, that kind of thing, I'll also include in that email. If you have a question, if you look at the dialog box you have there, there should be a box called questions. So feel free to type in any questions there. You can also, if you look at your attendee screen, you see that little hand there. If you want to raise your hand, I'm happy to unmute you and let you ask the question in person, or again, you can just type it in the box. All right, let's get started. YSA.org, and so I assume most people on here are fairly knowledgeable about YSA and our mission and what we're about. But basically, if you're not, we're a nonprofit. We're located in Washington, D.C. Nonprofit is this, same similar status as an NGO outside the U.S. We've been in existence since 1986, actually. Global Youth Service Day has been going strong for several years now. Basically, the big idea, the mission of YSA is to activate, fund, train, and recognize young people who are making a difference in their community. The big idea of YSA is that, and I've seen this personally doing trainings and working with youth here now for about 5 years at YSA, is that young people have ideas, they live in the community, they have a lot of information. They also have ideas, solutions, things that they see that can be improved. And so not only recognizing the problem, but also immediately, most of the time, having some kind of idea of what would help fix the problem. So our big idea is that for communities, governments, countries, any type of anything really, when it comes to solving real world problems, we've got to have a youth component. We've got to have youth involved. We need to have youth input. And not only do we need youth input, we also need them to be part of the solution. Because at almost, any point in a young person's life, within 10, 15 years, they will be adults. They will be our future leaders. So it's imperative that we get them involved early. So that's the big idea. GYSD, Global Youth Service Day, is one way that YSA supports its mission. YSA is the sponsor of Global Youth Service Day. On Global Youth Service Day, young people all over the world, last year we had, I think, Global Youth Service Day take place in about 135 countries. We'll be doing some type of activity to recognize, to celebrate Global Youth Service Day. And I want to definitely, first of all, for anything about YSA, ysa.org, but also for GYSD, definitely check out gysd.org when you have a chance and see everything that we have here. But on gysd.org, I wanted to take a second to talk about what actually happens. And so the big idea, well, the thing I want everyone to keep in mind is that YSA doesn't focus on one issue area. The issue area, the project that you're focused on, whatever that is up to you and the needs in your community. So we don't put any preference on any type of issue area or global goal. That is always up to you guys. The second thing to keep in mind is a Global Youth Service Day project or activity can be 3 young people writing letters to a, let's say, a government official to advocate for increased funding in the local park. Or it could be 50 young people writing letters to a local public official advocating for increased funding for a local park. It really, we don't have any preconceived ideas on how big your project is, what it's focused on. Again, all of this is up to the capacity of your organization and the young people, the issues that they're passionate about in your community. A Global Youth Service Day project can have a budget of $500 or it can have a budget of $0. And one of the questions I get a lot is, do I have, is there funding for GYSD? While YSA has several grants open at different times of the year, they are limited in who can apply for them and when they come out and what they're for. Currently, I don't have any other additional funding for the Community Partner Program, but I am going to go through Grantstation and Global Giving as 2 resources I highly suggest you look to, not only for GYSD funding, but for help in your year-round funding. And so we'll get to that. But the main point I want to make now is that I get a lot of emails giving me a plan. This is what we're going to do. Do you have funding? And I always have to, break my heart and their heart and explain I don't, but this looks like a great plan. Maybe scale down that plan and maybe maybe remember that Global Youth Service Day it's got to fit the capacity of your organization. So if a Global Youth Service Day project doesn't have to cost anything. It can have having the garbage bags and the food donated so that you can do a park cleanup. I mean, it can be as simple as that. A Global Youth Service Day project can also be part of your normal April programming. So if you've already got something going on in April, an event, maybe some type of program that's running through April, just that can be your Global Youth Service Day project. You can just link it to that. And I can give you some examples of that. One easy example is this year Global Youth Service Day and Earth Day are falling on the same day. There's no reason why you can't do an Earth Day project and also celebrate Global Youth Service Day at the same time. And so again, if you're already doing an Earth Day project, just combine it. You're not adding any more money, and you get to basically give the young people you work with, connecting them to other young people and organizations all over the world who are doing the same thing. And again, that's the other big idea of what Global Youth Service Day should be for an organization or should be for a community partner. This is a program activity that's custom made for you, ready made. All you have to do is plug in. It's an opportunity for you to show visibility in your community, to show that you're a leader. It's an opportunity for you to find new partners, an opportunity for you to develop the, to improve how you do social media. We have a lot of great social media tools. We'll be sharing, ready to share pre-made social media images and Facebook messaging that'll start coming to you actually this week that you can just simply copy and paste and share. So maybe you get better at doing that. And so that's the second big idea. Not only is Global Youth Service Day a program opportunity for the young people you're working with, but it's also the thing that we stress, an opportunity for your organization to build capacity, to hopefully learn a new skill, to try something new. And that's how we have the community partner program set up, is that this is an opportunity not only to connect the young people you're working with a global movement, but also an opportunity for you, your staff, maybe even the youth council you're working with to develop some type of new capacity through the tools, the tips, the resources that we have. And this isn't some just big, thing that we come up with. I've seen it time and time again each year, hearing back from our partners how they learned how to do this new thing. By doing this, we were able to make, we found new partners in our community simply because you guys kept telling us to look around and ask. And so it does work. I hope you have a chance when we get to the learning community to really look through the resources. And again, anytime you want to set up a Skype call with me, I'm more than happy to do that, to brainstorm with you, to look at what you're doing and give you any input that I have. Okay, so a little bit real quick about the Community Partner Program. This is the site here on our page, and so if you go to About, and we move this guy out of the way, you go to About, you go to Partners. I'll just show you how you get here. So here's the page on our Global Youth Service Network, and this is basically all of the different partner programs we have. They're all part of what we call the Global Youth Service Network. So if you're a community partner right now, you are a member of YSA's GYSN. And so here's a short description of the Community Partner Program, and then here's a link to learn more and to apply. I'm sure most of you have seen this. Here's the link to apply to the Community Partner Program. If you scroll down, here's some description, benefits, requirements, and if you continue to scroll down, there's a list of all of our current community partners. And if you've applied since the relaunch in November, everybody should be up unless you've applied within the last week or so. Check out your country, make sure your name is here, make sure that the hyperlink that we have you linked to is the correct one that you want us to have you linked to. And if it's not, send me an email and we'll get that fixed. All right, so a couple of things on this. Anytime you want to show to maybe an embassy or a future partner or a potential partner, anyway, any place you want to send anyone to demonstrate that you are an official partner of YSA.org or YSA, you can send them to this page. And that's why it's important to make sure that your name's here and that the hyperlink's correct. So this is a great place to link to when you're trying to explain to someone what's the Community Partner Program, because you can then say, well, check out the description of the Community Partner Program here. And then also when they come here and they learn more about it, they're also going to see that you're on the list. All right. The other thing I wanted to stress here too is we're trying to grow this program. Right now we have about 540 organizations in the Community Partner Program in 86 countries. And so please, other youth development organizations in your community, share with them this link, the application, ask them to apply. It would be great to have, 2, 3, 4, 5 community partners in the same city. I mean, all of you guys are working with youth. All of you are connected in some way. Why not network and work together? it's just the way to go. And so if, you know, and it's a great thing for you to be able to share with your partners. Hey, here's a great program, check it out. And they'll also get the same benefits that you're getting, access to Grantstation and all the other good stuff I'm going to show you here today. All right, so that's the Community Partner Program. One thing I wanted to do is make sure we had a chance to look at the Community Partner Toolkit, and I don't think I've opened that up yet. But here is actually the email I sent recently to everyone. You should have received this email. If you did not receive this email, send me an email and I will try to figure out why you're not getting the newsletter. And so here I wanted to look at the Community Partner Toolkit, and that was the hyperlink. Let's just see if that actually works. All right, here it is. Cool. Hyperlink works. So everyone that, if you're on this webinar, chances are you've received at least the email or the newsletter with the link to the toolkit here. And I'm also going to show you where it's in the learning community. If you don't have this, if you haven't seen this, again, send me an email, cwagner@ysa.org, and I will send you one personally, and then also figure out why you're not getting the emails so you can download it yourself. I'm going to breeze through this, but I wanted to quickly go through it just so you have an idea of everything that's here. Basically, I've organized this toolkit into 8 steps. And the first step, be a champion for youth in your community, is fairly self-explanatory. One thing that we're doing again this year, and I know I need to wait a second for everyone's screen to catch up, but one thing we're doing again this year is linking Global Youth Service Day to an opportunity to learn more about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or the global goals. And we have a great and awesome YSA Youth Guide to the Global Goals. If you just click here, I'm going to wait for this to catch up. There we go. If you just click here, download this resource. Basically, we have ready to go examples of projects based on the global goals that you can do on Global Youth Service Day. Step 3 is to plan and take action on Global Youth Service Day. So basically, here is a summary of the different types of resources and planning toolkits we have to help you plan the project. Also using our ASAP model, so projects can be focused on awareness, or service, or advocacy, or philanthropy. I'll let you download it and read more there. One thing I want to stress for sure is that when you're planning your Global Youth Service Day project, really consider doing a celebration event and a recognition event. And maybe these are two just activities you do towards the end of the day, or like a week later. And that was one of the things I also wanted to say at the beginning when I was giving examples of Global Youth Service Day projects. A Global Youth Service Day project can simply be an event where you recognize the contributions young people have made 365 days of the year. So it doesn't have to be a service project. It can be really, again, any type of activity that youth are working on that's got the big idea of improving the community. Moving right along, step 4 is, and this is super important, is to register your project. The map is now open. If you go to GYSD.org, you can see the map. We'll take a quick look at it in a second here. And so definitely for sure, we want you to register your GYSD projects on the map. And if we're working with other local community partners and they're doing their own projects, making sure that they've also registered their projects. This is the best way we have to measure the scope and impact of GYSD. This is one of the main ways that we learn, how we do from year to year and make improvements. So the first step in that is to get people to register the project so that after GYSD, those people who registered will get the email to now do, it's a 15-minute impact report. All right, moving right along, step 5 is spread the word. Basically, there's information here about our blog. We have a great story template to help teach you how to write really effective social media Facebook posts. We also have the logos here that you can download. When we get into the learning community here in a second, I'll show you where those logos are also stored. And then we've got some different tools here: press release template, calendar listing template. I've already got some emails from folks asking for the GYSD certificate. This is here. It's in the PowerPoint format, so you can customize it. And the Youth in Action photography tip list and the photo release form. So if you're taking pictures, it's always good to get the parents to agree to let you use those pictures for your social media messaging, for your website, and all that good stuff. Step 6, this is a really important page right here, maybe one of the most important pages in the toolkit. Basically what we've done here is created 4 different letter templates. I want to make sure everybody should be able to see this now. Yeah. Basically, the first one here is a letter from YSA that recognizes your organization as a community partner. And basically, there's 2 different versions of this letter. One includes the reference to Youth Service America, and one does not. We understand that in some countries, saying that you're partnered with Youth Service America may not be, the greatest thing to include. And so basically we've learned this from organizations over the years. So basically there's 2 different versions of that letter. The second letter is basically a letter from you explaining that you are a community partner and that you have the support of YSA and you're an official organizer for GYSD, that you can also send to a potential funder or partner. Again, 2 different versions of the letter, one with a reference to YSA and one without. So check those out. Again, you just click here. It's going to download a, we'll just go ahead and check it out real quick. It's going to download a Word document. And here it is. And so basically, you just fill in the yellow parts, and then you put in your signature. Again, it recognizes you as a community partner. It gives them examples of how they can help you support your project, and of course you can edit and shape all of this to your needs and your audience. So again, you're not required to use this word for word. We fully expect you to customize it again to your needs and your audience. All right, so that takes us through, let me finish out the toolkit here. A little bit here on partners. Let me just keep going. Step 7 is super important, inviting community leaders to your event, inviting public officials, elected officials, VIP, who's that one celebrity you have in your community, and then the question is, once that's answered, how do we get them to our project? And then step 8 would be the impact report I was talking about earlier, making sure after GYSD that someone at your organization takes 15 minutes out of their day to show us and tell us what happened and what was your impact. All right, so that's the Community Partner Toolkit. Again, if you do not have this wonderful document, send me an email and I will get it to you. Okay, I'm going to stop here. If anyone has any questions as I regroup, go ahead and type them in that box, if you will. Okay. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to show you how to get into the community partner learning community. And basically what we've done at YSA for a couple of our programs is we have created basically these platforms where maybe the lead agency program or the community partner program that you're in has a space where they can communicate and talk to each other, share files, swap ideas. And then at YSA, we can upload any of the resources, toolkits, trainings, YouTube videos, pretty much anything that you can think of media-wise to the learning community, and that way you've got access to it. Furthermore, access to Grantstation. You can only get into Grantstation through the learning community. So again, that's why it's important that that you log in, look around, know what's there, and then and so you have that. And if for some reason after you watch this today, watch me do it, and you can't get in, send me an email and I will definitely help you out. So to get to the learning community, and let me just explain this here too. I sent an email to everyone this week. This is what the email looks like. And if you scroll to the bottom of the email, I give some great bullet point directions on how to log into the learning community and how to retrieve your password from the learning community. So I'm not going to go through all of those details exactly right now, but just know that they're here, and I can, again, if you don't have this email, I can easily forward it to you. All right, when you get to ysa.org, this is how you're going to access the learning community. You then want to click on resources. And this basically takes you to what we call the Ysa Learning Center. Any of YSA's resources, again, videos, toolkits, whatever, it's all located right here. The tricky part, and it's not so much a tricky part, it's that we want you to log in. And so if you don't have a login and password, which everyone who's a community partner should have right now anyway, but more on that in a second. But what you're going to do is you're going to log in. And this is what the login screen is going to look like. You're going to put in your email address, and then you're going to put in a password. And so let me just say two things about passwords. If you go back to this email, we relaunched the Community Partner Program this past November 2016. So if you have been if you signed up then, since early November, your password is ys@cp17. I'm going to throw that into the chat here. Password for all community partners who signed up after November 1st, 2016, your password is more than likely, did that work? Yeah, ys@cp17. If you have been a community partner long before November, then you're going to use, and if you have logged into the old community partner program, or you've created a profile using that email address and you have a password already, you'll simply use that password. If you, for some reason, neither of these options work, then just click the forgot password, click here, and it should forward you a link so you can reset your password. Then you should have access. If none of those things work, again, send me an email, cwagner@ysa.org, and I will help you figure out what your password is. Okay, login. So here is the community partner learning community. Basically, once you log in, you're really logged into GYSD.org. And so basically, these are all the tools and cool stuff we have for anyone that has a profile, anyone who can log in and check out what tools and things that we have for Global Youth Service Day this year. So we've got 4 different prompts here. You can plan your project, post your project, so that's going to bring up the map registration page. promote your project, and this is all the social media, you know, press release templates, communication type related materials to help you bring visibility to your projects. And then the pick your project, and basically these are just project ideas that we have that if you need ideas, check it out. There's a lot of good stuff there. The GYSD store is here, so if you want to order a t-shirt or t-shirts for Global Youth Service Day this year, you can check that out. And we have a few other items besides t-shirts. And then on the left side here, that Youth Changing the World Toolkit is, we have it in several different languages. So basically this is my favorite project toolkit that we have at YSA. So it's got all of the best practices. Those 8 steps that are in the Community Partner Toolkit are based on the Youth Changing the World Toolkit. And then here are some other suggested resources and trainings that you can check out. So basically this is open to, again, anyone in the public who wants to do a GYSD project and creates a profile to get in. They have access to this screen. What you have additional access to is the Community Partner Learning Community. So to get there, I want to make sure I can see your screen, and I can make sure, yeah, okay, so right over here. So under Connect, you want to click All Communities. And this is a little tricky because there's the old Community Partner Program, but what you're looking for is the YSA Community Partner Program. This guy right here. Click there, and you're in. All right. So the first thing I want to do is let's just continue to talk about Global Youth Service Day. So here's how you're going to gain access to Grantstation. I'll come back here in a second. Here's we need a placeholder here, but this is the Youth Changing the World toolkit, so definitely check out if you want to. But the main thing I want to show you is I want you to click on Topics. This is where we have saved all of the different files and templates and toolkits to support you in not only Global Youth Service Day, but your year-round youth development activities. Everything from program ideas and program activities to capacity building platforms like Grantstation and Global Giving. So definitely take some time to check this out, and I'm going to go through a few of these real quick. Remember when I said we have the Community Partner Toolkit saved in the Learning Community? Well, here's where it is. All you have to do is download it. You can download it there. Communications and social media tools, we have the storytelling template, and we also have a GYSD email pitch and press release template. I would highly suggest you definitely download, write you a press release for your Global Youth Service Day activities, send it to your local newspapers. Here's some more information about Grantstation. This is a YouTube video we did, so after you gain access to Grantstation, definitely watch the YouTube video because Ellen from Grantstation basically takes us through the site and shows us where all the good stuff is. So again, you're going to get access to Grantstation at some point. Watch the YouTube video. Lots of good stuff. GYSD participation certificate, super important. All you're going to do is click to download. And again, like I said, this is in a PowerPoint format, so you can customize this to whatever you need to. All right. Photo release form, very important. We talked about that earlier. This is the Community Partner Discussion Board. If you would like to post a topic, share an idea, post a question, I check this daily, so I am always on it. But this is a great way to meet new friends, meet new partners. Again, we just relaunched the program and created the community, so really the only message we have here at this point is mine. But check it out and use it. Community Partner Badge. Definitely want to go over this. Basically, this is a badge that you can download and basically share on your Facebook page. Share however you want to, and basically it recognizes you as an official partner of YSA and Global Youth Service Day. This would be a cool thing to include in the letter template that I showed you guys earlier. Somehow including that or sending that to them with a letter would be super awesome. So we put that together for you. Global giving, I'm going to go over this in a second. Social content to share. So basically we're going to have more any social media messaging that we start to send out this week. I will go ahead and save a copy of it here. More to come on that, but basically know that every 2 weeks we're going to send you guys an email, and you don't have to share every time, but it's going to have an action item. So the one coming out at the end of this week is going to be the action, call to action is map your project, and then we're going to have a couple of images and sample Facebook messages and tweets that you can share. And it's easy to share. It's just a copy and paste. But you're also, of course, welcome to customize it, change the message, etc., etc. But those emails will start going out, and I will always save a copy of that here. Logos, super cool. All of those logos that you saw in the Community Partner Toolkit, they're located here. And capacity building resources. Our lead agents, basically we've put together some different resources to help organizations build capacity. So check these out. 5 ways to involve youth in planning their projects, how to integrate service and the 4 C's and employment skills into a youth service project, making sure that we're engaging youth not traditionally asked to serve, and then how to build your own partner coalition. Super important. In order to increase the scope and scale of GYSD and to also for it to be meaningful to you, it's great to use GYSD as an opportunity to meet new partners. So some good stuff there. All right, so again, when you log into the Community Partner page or the Learning Center, you're going to see this, and if you click on Topics, it's going to take you here. All right. 2 opportunities I want to stress, I mentioned earlier in the video that I want you guys to check out, is the first is Global Giving. Global Giving is a crowdfunding platform, and it's one of the only crowdfunding platforms that brings in, that supports organizations globally. So you can be a small NGO in Kenya, and you can put a project up on Global Giving and start fundraising for that project. Global Giving is the only one that has that capacity, and once you reach a certain level, you can actually, that also American funders can also donate to your project. But crowdfunding is much more than just that kind of platform. Global Giving is much more than a crowdfunding platform. Sorry, it's 7:30 in the morning here. Global Giving does a lot of work to help organizations learn how to fundraise locally. In fact, that's their mission, is how can they help organizations build the capacity to effectively fundraise, and that's how they're making a difference in the world. So there's resources, toolkits, videos. I promise you that if you look at the Global Giving Accelerator program and you look at the tools and resources they have, you'll just be smarter. You'll learn so much. If you just give it an hour, you'll learn a lot that you didn't know. And if you're able to really dedicate the time, probably bringing in some other people to do it with you, that's always more fun. I think it's always more interesting if you can have 2 or 3 maybe of your staff members, of your organization's board, parents, whatever, do the training with you. I promise it'll be well worth your while. So when you come here, definitely, I wrote a blog. I think this is the blog. This is the blog, but it's also up on ysa.org/blog, but I'll send the direct link to the blog. But basically, I just copy and pasted it here. So this is what the blog is about, and basically Michael Gale and I from Global Giving did a YouTube video. Let me find out where I was. Here we are. and we did a YouTube video basically of him going through the site and us having a conversation about what are the best practices, what have you seen, small organizations be able to do, like the community part, a lot of our partners in the community partner program to raise money for their projects. So basically it gets you an inside look from Global Giving from one of its own employees, and then also,
so I'm here with my
expectation, best practices on how to make the most of it. So check the blog out, check the video out. Then the other thing I wanted to take us to, and the one I've had a lot of questions around, and that's good, is Grantstation. So like I said earlier, the only way to get into Grantstation and the free basically subscription that you get, and again that's going to be through December 31st of this year, is through the community. So once you're here, if you just click on Grantstation, it's going to take you to this page, and you're just going to click here for full membership access to Grantstation provided by YSA with support from State Farm. So definitely click on that guy, and once you click here, you will be in. Give it a second to load. All right. So here is Grantstation. Again, you've got, if you look on the left-hand side, you've got a way to search for grants. You also have a lot of great resources. Here's a great link to start you off to take the tour. We've got a newsletter. Anyway, basically you're able to look for grants, search for grants and other funding opportunities while also building your capacity to develop a grant program and to effectively write grant applications. So those are, again, benefits of the program. So here's how you get access to Grantstation. And again, let's see. We also, again, there's a video tutorial or link to here, and there's also the YouTube video Ellen did with us last year that I was showing you, and I'll include that link in the email after the webinar, so you can see that too. So again, both Grantstation and Global Giving have YouTube videos where both organizations are explaining best practices, ideas, places to go to on the site to get the most out of it. So check that out too. And again, this links to the bigger idea, and the goal of the program is to, of course, that we have as much support and people doing global youth service as possible. But one of the things we recognize at Youth Service America is that we are this now hub for everything youth development. So all the time we're learning from our partners these great resources and tools and programs that they have. And so my job and our job in the Community Partner Program is to take that and get it to you, because the more you're able to work with youth and youth-led service, the stronger your organization is, the closer YSA comes to implementing its mission and realizing its vision of a global culture of youth wanting to serving in a world that looks to young people for ideas and information to help solve these problems. So again, whatever we can do to help you after GYSD, we want to do, because it just makes sense. Okay, I think the last thing I wanted to emphasize on the webinar today is simply that we will be sending out every 2 weeks an email to all of our partners, including you guys, with a call to action and images and sample social messaging that you can simply copy and paste and share for us. Again, you're more than welcome to customize it or not do it. We would love for you to do it, but that's going to be coming to you. I'm going to be sending out another newsletter in probably a couple of weeks or so, probably an email update here and there. Again, if you don't have access to Grantstation, or let's do it this way. If you can't log into the learning communities, totally send me an email. We will figure out your password situation. If you didn't receive the newsletter that we looked at, the email that we looked at, then also send me an email and we'll figure out why, and if we need to, get you added to both those lists. I'm going to quickly check the question box, and I don't see any new questions. See if anyone raised their hand. No one raised their hand. Okay, cool. Thanks for hanging out with me so early in the morning. Again, if you're watching this, we're going to send a webinar, a link, a YouTube link with the webinar with it, with some of these other attachments with it also. And have a great day. All peace.